And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast, plus also as well inside sports, fantasy football. Since the Lakers sucked today and I had a lot of time on my hands, I recorded an Inside Sports fantasy football with Chris Sardieri. So go ahead and check out our thoughts on the NFL playoffs. In fact, during the show, I will ask Magic Man and Joe Soro if he hops on, because I know he's still under the weather. But I will ask them about their thoughts on this weekend's game. So go ahead and check out Chris and my thoughts on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Plus, also as well, of course, you know, Laker Tom and Jamie Sweet are not happy campers. So go ahead and check out what they have to say at Lakerholics.com. Plus, of course, our good friend, Joe Soro, Ox1947. You know, if he's going to be able to come on, he's got a rant coming up because you know he's pissed off at what the Lakers did today. So go ahead and check out what he's doing as Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. And of course, his company, Simblades with the Y.com, as he enters in right now. Also, go ahead and check out our good friends. That's Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV, Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, Lakers Corner, and also as well the John McCalian channel. Please support those great channels. And speaking of supporting a great channel, please, if you have not yet already, like, subscribe, follow, whatever you can do to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. We are that small Lakers channel that's getting up there. But we need your help to build a better audience, to build a larger audience. We have a tremendous audience, but we always want to get bigger and better. So please, you can help with that by liking and subscribing to everything that we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Well, the Lakers come in tonight in a key battle in the Western Conference, looking to hop over the Phoenix Suns as they came into town to the Crypt. We're expecting a charged offense, some really great energy tonight. The Lakers had a day off, so literally heading in a 2-game win streak, some confidence came back. But lo and behold, the Phoenix Suns, who were still here off their other game in Clipperland, they were here and they got a chance to get some, I guess, some time off, and they took it to good advantage with the big three: Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, all in the lineup. They proceeded to dismantle the Los Angeles Lakers from the get-go, from the start. It actually started off ugly, and it didn't get any better. At one time, the Phoenix Suns were leading by well over 30. The Lakers did whittle it down behind the inspired play of two-way player Skylar Mays. And despite all the stuff that's going on, you know that D'Angelo Russell ain't happy. You know that the Lakers should not be happy, but they're all laughing up on the sidelines outside of Austin Reeves. But the Lakers pull out another terrible effort, got out coached, and got outplayed in a 127-109 loss, bringing them back down to 19-20. They are now tied with Utah in the Western Conference. I believe that they're tied for 10th, if I'm not mistaken. So they fall down as far as 210th in the Western Conference with the Utah Jazz. And here today to discuss all this, I got some great guys here for you. They've got a rant coming up. They've got their feelings they got to share. First up, first man here, he's the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by to watch this mess, who I truly appreciate him heading up our playback.tv coverage because I couldn't. And then after a while, I don't think anybody's wanted to go ahead and head up that coverage because it was a train wreck tonight. But Henry Hill was there, Laker Nick was there, and Joe Soro was there. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Sean, great to have you here. Great to have everybody watching right now or on our simulcast for playback. Your thoughts on this misery? I mean, from the get-go, we saw they were just outclassed. And I understand people go to, well, see, this is what happens when you have a big three. This is what happens when you have a big three. Tonight, we saw Phoenix, who has had a really lackluster season so far. You see what they can do when they have all three of their top players in the lineup and playing as well as they did tonight. It doesn't help when the Lakers suck in return.
Well, I mean, it was a monstrosity wrapped up in a turd that was on fire. It was that was as big of a turd fire as I've seen in a long time, Gerald. And quite frankly, I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. Um, the key moment for me as to why I'm going to say this again, and Gerald, I don't give a rat crap if anybody's feelings are hurt. Darvin Ham is a very stupid head coach on the floor. The Lakers and Suns are both coming out of a TV timeout. Austin Reeves is the primary defender on Kevin Durant. Not off a cross switch, not off a mismatch, not even off a scramble. It was a designed defensive set where Darvin Ham specifically said, "Austin, you're on KD." He is a moron. He is a moron. He really is on a moron on the court, Gerald. I'm not talking about the man's disposition
Yeah, I know.
as a
And once you
person.
clarified that, I'm in agreement with you on
Yeah,
that
I'm
one.
not talking about his disposition as a man or a person. I'm talking about on the court. He's a goddamn idiot. He's not very smart. He is actually stupid. And the issue beyond that is there is nobody who's willing to pat him on the shoulder and say, "Yo, Darvin, you really sure you want to put Austin on KD? Are you really sure about that? Because Jared Vanderbilt's just standing in the corner over there. He's standing in the corner and he's guarding Grayson Allen. Do you maybe think you want to switch? No, this man has hired nepotistic, green behind the gills, non-threatening chumps to be his assistant. And again, I'm not disrespecting Damari Carroll as a person. I'm not disrespecting Chris Gent as a person. I'm not disrespecting Phil Handy as a person. I'm saying you guys collectively are garbage as coaches. You're garbage. You really are. What we're seeing as a product is garbage, is a result of a reflection of your ill preparation, your ill adjustments, and your ill ability to just self critique. Everybody's laughing it up, Gerald. It's I didn't realize that performing bad professionally would cause everybody to be in stitches. You know, when Amazon has a bad day, Gerald, I could tell you for a fact that coworkers are smiling and laughing and, hey, high five. Yeah, we didn't meet our quota today. Nope. But for these guys, it's all laughs all the time. I'm getting paid regardless of whether we perform well or not. I'm a Laker. I get the perks regardless because, and I'm just going to say this again, that crowd is so corporate, is corporate. It's more corporate than corporate. They finally start booing after almost 20 games of this garbage. You
Exactly.
find like you
Thank God they
people
didn't have
like
us there.
all you season ticket holders, you guys are the biggest bunch of saps with disposable income I've ever seen. I would rather spend um I'm not going to go there. There are many different ways to spend money
Yes, sir.
wisely than going to a Lakers home game at this point because it's garbage. It's garbage. I'm not gonna pay. How much is beer at Staples again, Gerald? It's like $18.
It's yeah in that range.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay for uh piss warm beer at $18 so I can watch Jared Vanderbilt miss a layup 5 times in a
He's
game.
supposed to be in the dunker spot. The guy can't even dunk. He can't shoot threes. It's awful. It's
Max
disgusting.
Cormac Christie, and I'm gonna call him by his Christian name because you were not a Max. Max is a cool name. Uh, Every Max I know, including my childhood dog, were cool. Cormac cannot finish at the rim, Gerald. He can barely finish putbacks. He missed 2 point blank offensive rebound putbacks, and he missed a basic bounce pass, Gerald.
And
The
who said
most
this guy could
basic,
play defense again?
yeah. I mean, Rodell,
Yeah, he was bad. I
fly,
mean,
fly away, Rodell, fly away
no,
with
no, no.
Max Christie.
He's on vacation. He's
No, no,
doing
no,
good.
no,
He's
no,
listening to
no.
us.
I'm
Watching us.
no, 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 no. He gets the Danny McBride from me. From This Is the End.
Okay. Well,
That's where I want Max Christie to go. Fly away.
but even his game was better by any standards compared to what we saw from some of the guys there. Just poor performances all around. And if
There is no Laker tonight, Gerald, that deserves any kind of praise. No one.
yeah, well, Skylar Mays, the Skylar Mays, I guess era is here now. Here, so 5 of 6,
Down by
12
28,
points.
you're gonna give Skylar Mays props.
No, I'm not. Just
All
thought
right. Thank
I
you
just
very
I
much.
was being facetious in that statement.
Yeah.
But once again, the Lakers do lose 127 to 109. Also here today is a very angry man indeed after watching this dumpster fire of a game. Makes it worse for everybody out there. Do you realize on Saturday we go to one of the we go on the road for one of the few road games after we've lost 3 of 5 home games. We go on the road to play one of the hottest teams in the NBA and a team we're tied with now in Utah. It is Joe Soro, and Joe, the scenario does not get any better for Lakers. You thought 2 wins in a row, maybe they could start putting some pieces together. Unfortunately, they just threw those pieces out the window with a trashy, trashy game today.
Based off Coach Darko's commentary, I actually didn't have much to disagree with on the refereeing. Obviously, I think Toronto got hosed in the last game. The only thing I think he was kind of getting a little crazy about was Scotty Barnes being a MVP like type player. He's not, but he was angry like you should be because the product is trash and we benefited from it, so we didn't care, right? But tonight, you didn't see a referee problem. You didn't see a competitive problem. You saw a basketball team that shouldn't call itself a professional basketball team. Uh, it is led by a complete lack of cohesion, complete lack of intelligence, complete lack of just overall spirit for anything productive in terms of basketball. Uh, you had 2 guys that were out tonight that actually played pretty well in the previous game, out with a migraine.
Christian Wood, migraine,
Let me
facial.
I'll name it.
Okay.
Christian Wood out with a migraine. It's not the first time a Laker player has been out with a migraine. And then the half-inch hit elbow on Cam Reddish's mouth apparently put him in some kind of fake, I don't know, concussion protocol.
Facial contusion was the actual
My
listing.
disdain for everything that I hate is what it is justified. It is justified. Most who know us will understand. Those who don't won't. But
Gerald, I'm excuse me, Joe.
let me
Wasn't that
finish. Let me
wasn't
finish.
that a facial laceration,
Let me
not a contusion?
finish. I'm trying to say this calmly because I've been yelling for 2 shows, and I think people need a break. This is the epitome of what losers do. It doesn't matter if you're rich, doesn't matter if you're successful. I put quotes in the air on that one. In life, you don't come to work, while people pay their hard-earned money to watch a game or spend 3 hours of their life watching you play. You give them this product, and then what you do is you start teaching everyone that this is the way it is. And that's what we are now. We're just a mediocre crowd watching a mediocre product. We all deserve what we're watching because we're not doing anything about it. The end.
Okay, so it's left knee soreness. Okay, because I know according to the Athletic earlier, it was like listed as facial laceration, but it left knee soreness because that's something that has been bothering in and out of the year for Cam Reddish. That's why he didn't start the second half. Okay, so left knee soreness, MagicMan. Left knee soreness.
Jared, even our training staff is mid.
My knees are sore sitting here 3 hours a day. I still get up and go do what I need to do.
Yeah, and
if I was paid millions of dollars, MagicMan, not including the $500,000 bumper I got in Vegas, I would make sure that my knees feel good enough to play the damn game in the second half.
I don't believe that.
Joe, you should eat a Kit Kat. You'll feel a lot better.
Kit Kats the last decade have tasted like pure shit.
1727.
Yeah, well, he just had to go there, didn't he?
I like the Kit Kats. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
They used to be good. They changed them.
Did they, Gerald?
If they have, I'm not aware of it, but yeah, okay, whatever. I like
because Gerald doesn't breathe when he eats.
Oh, shit.
What?
And you don't think when you speak. How different is
Oh,
that?
I'm thinking. I think all the time. I just
Sometimes that's the problem.
Oh, yeah. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about what I'm saying.
Anyway,
but MagicMan, just the excuses. They're flying left and right, my friend. I mean, calf strain. And then I hear Darvin Ham saying, "Oh, he's progressing nicely. He's had a good day." If he had such a good day, why did Rui play in the damn game? MagicMan, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Gerald, this cliche professional, I'm gonna use a good term here, Gerald. I'm not gonna go rogue on you. Bull jive. Progressing nicely. Like, what are we? Are we in Office Space or something? Like, where you have to literally suck all the life out of language, Gerald, because that's what he's done. He has no personality. Like, Darvin Ham is a potato with his hands in his pockets. The way he speaks, no personality, no emotion, passion, anger. There is no emotion. It's
I know. Yeah.
His hands are in his pockets, or he's scratching his head. He is in over his head, and everybody can see it. And I think, Gerald, ultimately, here's what we need. Basically, most casual who aren't in our comment section, and aren't our subs, to know. At this point in time, if Rob Pelinka doesn't know that Darvin Ham was the wrong choice, then he needs to be gone too.
Well, we did get to see him though.
He was
out there in the crowd.
He was in attendance, so
He's not hiding yet.
He saw it firsthand. If he doesn't recognize that Darvin Ham is a bad coach, then he needs to go too. Because at this point, it's beyond the pale that this guy is still coaching the Los Angeles Lakers. He is ill-prepared. This is This is the 32nd time, Gerald, 32nd time that the Lakers have lost the first quarter. 32 times. Also, it just goes to show that he is ill-mannered in how he adjusts. Again, we brought up the Austin Reeves situation. Like, why? Just and nobody is willing to ask these questions. This is why these problems persist and pervade and penetrate us Laker fans, Gerald, because nobody is willing to ask these questions. And Reggie Miller, I got something for your lispy ass.
There we go.
I got something for your lispy ass. You know what, Reggie? You might be a Hall of Fame player, but as far as I'm concerned, I've been watching basketball for 30 years. You and Clyde Drexler are the two biggest overrated Hall of Famers in NBA history. You played in 6 finals games, and you couldn't beat the Knicks and the Bulls to save your life in the same playoff series. But you're considered one of the best clutch players ever. You're considered in the same class as Jerry West, who played in if I'm not mistaken, Gerald, he played about 50 more finals games than you ever did, Reggie. And you're considered to be with Michael Jordan as a clutch player, even though Mike has 6 titles. Reggie, you go blow it where the sun don't shine. Cram it with walnuts, ugly, you oval-headed buffoon. Oh, well, these Laker fans, they're criticizing Darvin Ham, and last year they were singing his praises in the playoffs. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. That's erroneous, you dumb. You know, I think sometimes, Gerald, guys who grow up in Palisades, California, they stare at the sun too long. Steve Kerr, Reggie Miller. I mean, a couple of boneheads, if you ask me. And quite frankly, again, nobody calls them on this stuff. Nobody. Like, why aren't that little toady Trevor Lane and his little butt buddy Anthony Irwin, or Mike Trudell, or Scooter Geeter, whatever his name is, nobody's willing to ask these questions. Nobody. Like, why aren't they defending the Lakers? Why aren't they going at Reggie Miller and saying, Reggie, no Laker fans were praising Darvin Ham? Do you know why? Because they want access too, ladies and gentlemen. They want that access, and they are willing to say and do whatever it takes for the Lakers to continue to give them that access. And that means withholding their authenticity and truth. That's why they're frauds. And I'm calling them frauds again. Trevor Lane, you're a fraud. Anthony Irwin, you're a fraud. Everybody at Time Warner, you are so full of yourselves, other than Robert Ory, because at least Big Shot, he keeps it real. But everybody gets in line and is a toady for Genie. And that's a shame, because in this world, at least not in fake LA, authenticity matters.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do lose 127 to 109. They followed 19-20, tied for 10th place in the Western Conference with the Utah Jazz, who coincidentally they meet on Saturday in Utah. So, Joe, I ask you this. The Lakers, they got their ass kicked from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. And then you see in the fourth quarter the glad handing and everybody's laughing it up and enjoying themselves. Reeves aside, Reeves actually did look like he'd actually gotten pounded, which he did because he was terrible on the defensive end again. So, your thoughts, my friend, when you see how much fun they're having, especially after the game or even during it as they were getting beaten by 30, it just makes you even more disheartened as a Lakers fan that we know the gravity of the situation. but seemingly they don't.
They know the gravity. Who says
They
they
don't seem to
don't?
care.
It's called they don't care because they can go back and say, well, it's this other person's fault. That's the leadership you have on the Lakers. They're content on being mediocre without really telling themselves that they are mediocre. Darvin Ham actually isn't mediocre. He's worse than mediocre, but the mentality of the team, the leaders of the team, quote unquote, whoever that is, are allowing this to continue. Again, the lack of stars on this team. There's two of them. The Lakers should not be playing this bad when you have that kind of talent on the team. Go ahead, Sean.
I have a question for the panel and for the comment section. How many men are actually in that Lakers locker room? Men. Like men. I'm not, you know what I'm talking about. So
Good question.
I would qualify LeBron as one. Anthony Davis? Nope. Rui? Yes. Austin Reeves? Nope. D'Angelo Russell? Nope. Cam Reddish? Nope. Jared Vanderbilt? Nope. Christian Wood? Nope. Darvin Ham? It's
The definition of man has changed the last 3-4 years.
I'm talking, you know what I mean.
Yeah, well,
Somebody
I'm
gets up, starts
There-
speaking, and
it's-
everybody
man's
joins
the wrong word. Man's the
everybody
wrong
joins
word.
a concentric circle because everybody needs to pay attention to what this
Man's the
person
wrong
is saying.
word. It's the leadership. We've talked about this
Well,
for a few weeks now.
it takes a man to be a leader, Joe.
Okay, so they're not. They're boys, right?
Other than LeBron, I would say yes.
Okay, so we're not going crazy here. Everybody's in agreement that these guys are not really adult men. They're adolescent boys.
Yes.
Okay. And we're supposed to have these guys that are tough guys like Darvin Ham be the men of the group, correct?
Yes.
Okay, they're not because they can't control the boys, just like most of these lame ass parents who can't control their own kids. So that makes sense. I can buy that. Yeah, I think the young punks like my cousins, they like to use the word boomer, even though I can boom their ass into a different dimension if they really wanted to throw down. Of course, their face drops when they say that. I'm like, you can't call someone a boomer who can whoop your ass. Like, you got to wait till they're in their 80s, you know? But anyways, the boomer thing or the old man get off my lawn thing, you know, that was a cute thing about probably 10, maybe 20 years ago. No, I don't think you can use that anymore now that I think about it, because we do have pussy ass sort of men these days, because that's what's being taught that we need to be like. And then now the ones who are not like that become more angry and become more aggressive so that we can even the playing field out. Not because I got to inflate my ego. My ego is already bigger than all your houses put together. That's already there. I'm just trying to even out the testosterone because 99% of your damn testosterone has turned into estrogen. You're too busy crying about everything and whining to your parents because most of the people out there are still living with them. So, what is a guy who's still living with his parents going to tell me who I am? The guy who's living with his parents in his 30s is calling me a boomer, calling me a guy who's yelling about getting off my lawn. I'm like, mother. God, I almost said it. I'm like,
Yeah,
bitch, you live with your parents. You don't even have a lawn. You don't even have a lawn for you to tell me, for me not to tell you to get off my lawn. Okay, so that's where we're at. The only difference is you got these kids who got the genetic lottery who can jump out the building, who are 7 feet tall, who can dribble a basketball, making millions of dollars because they've had their ass kissed since 12 years old, yet they've been compromised and they've been told that they weren't going to make it, yet they've had free shit for 20 years, right? And then they get to the NBA and get their ass kissed even
That's
more.
31-52,
Why?
Joe.
Because there's no coach that has any balls to teach these guys how to do stuff. And there's no owner, and there's no commissioner, and there's no media person that will call them out. Why? Because everyone's worried about their own ass because no one owns it. How much more simple can I put it?
There are, though. The Lakers never hire them.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's society turning into this.
So
it's a microcosm of it. It's what it is. No one's holding these guys accountable because the second you do, you get called boomer, old man. Hey, stop being like that. This is the 2024. It's not the 60s. And people get scared. Okay? But no one has the nuts. Well, even the Belichicks and the Sabins are gone now. We're effed. Those are some of the few left. Some of the few left. I was asked, Joe, why do you like Nick Saban so much? Why do you keep talking about him? Well, didn't you cheer for Michigan? Yes, I did cheer for Michigan because family comes first. But what we lost the last couple of days is we were losing what used to matter. Accountability. We're losing what used to matter. Now, it's okay, Joe. We'll get them next time. No, we won't. We have a mediocre product with mediocre people, pleasing mediocre people.
That's a projection. I could safely say that myself and Gerald do not consider ourselves mediocre people.
Well, if you took what I said as an insult, then you totally missed what I was saying.
Okay. And on that note,
because actually, technically, we are mediocre watching this trash. We should be doing something else, to be honest with you. But we enjoy doing the show, so we can't.
And I enjoy the company whether we win or lose. That's why I keep coming back. It's not just because we're a Lakers show and we need to be here. I mean, I'm here win or lose if I can be. I enjoy the company. I enjoy the comment section. I enjoy our subs. Yeah, it would be great if they had a better product because that might incur uh, um, higher numbers, so to speak. But that being said, got to deliver the goods, Joe. And we could go. It's true. It's beyond. It's not a mediocre product because at least that would infer that it's up and down. Like the problem is the Lakers have way too many dips and not enough not enough high peaks, Gerald. That's why you can't consider it mediocre. It's like mediocre is like win 2, lose 2, win 3, lose 3. It's more like the Lakers win 5, lose 3, win 7 of 10, lose 8 of 12. Like there are way too many variations to consider it mediocre. Yeah, the record is mediocre, but their play varies from god awful to somewhat good. But I mean, how many quality wins do we have, Gerald? Like how many quality wins? You would say the Clippers win was a quality win, right?
Yep.
So you've had 2 of those. Would you qualify anything else as a quality win, Gerald?
Well, they've had the streak that they took to go to the in-season, the beloved in-season tournament,
New
which
Orleans.
everybody still makes as an excuse.
Look,
They're 5-11 since the IST. They'll throw that in your face, my friend.
Well, I mean, you beat New Orleans by 40 points, Gerald, and the Lakers and Pelicans have both gone in different directions since then.
That they have.
So, I mean, you can't even qualify that as a quality win because the Pelicans are still crap then. I let's it- it's it's not good. There are only you have only 2 quality wins all year. That that's that's that might get you a play-in game. That might. It might not though, because you're competing with Golden State and Phoenix for a play-in. Now, if you Gerald, if you had said, you know what, Gerald, somebody had told you the Los Angeles Lakers will be competing for a play-in tournament spot with the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns, your response would be
Where did this season go wrong and who got hurt?
right. Meanwhile, LeBron and AD have been healthy relatively for the whole season, and it just goes to show, Gerald. It's obvious. It's obvious that before the season began, I'm sure AD and LeBron were sitting by the pool, uh, drinking some margaritas and eating some Taco Tuesdays, and discussing that. You know what? LeBron probably told him, Gerald, this might be my last run. This might be my last go here where I can physically and mentally prepare myself for the grind that we're about to go to. But I need you to be healthy. You need to be your healthy, focused Anthony Davis this year. And for the most part, he has been. Yet we stink. We stink. And that should be a major, major issue for Palinka and for him and for Bus, because now you should have it in the back of your mind that LeBron thought that if he got through to AD and if he was healthy, that they could make a run. Well, they've both been healthy, relatively speaking, and the Lakers are their record is mid, and their play has been a variance of god awful to pretty good. That's not going to get it done. And you know what, Gerald? I think some Laker fans, including myself, are starting to believe that this may be just LeBron's last season as a Laker. Because if they're this would be the 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020 chip, 2021, 21, 22.
Yes. So I'll tell you what, it's been a rocky road, absolutely. And Alan, I know, brought up a good point as well on as far as his question, which I'll answer in a second. But go ahead, Magic Man, finish up, my friend.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, Gerald, so out of those 6 seasons that he's played, 5 of them would be LeBron would define as disappointing.
Well, let me ask you this though. And again, the Lakers do lose 127 to 109. They fall to 19-20, 10th place in the Western Conference. Let me ask you this, Joe. Alan said in the chat, if LeBron ADC Ham is not good enough to make a run and the top of the Lakers refuse to fire him, at what point do they give up? Kind of looks like they gave up tonight, Joe, really quickly.
I don't think AD or LeBron have any power over anything, except LeBron had the power to agree to or push the Westbrook trade a couple years ago. That's about it. Other than that, it's been a disaster since, and they're probably not going to ever listen to him.
Okay.
That wasn't my point, but okay. Yeah, I agree.
First of
with
all,
that.
I wasn't answering a question that involved what you said. I don't
No,
know
it
what
was
you're talking
Alan.
about.
So.
Oh, Alan.
Yeah. Pay attention, Sean. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to smack you. Again. The team is. We use these words of what depressing, crap. He
Dumpster
sucks. This guy
fire.
sucks. They're just pathetic. I mean, but they hear it on. They hear it with a bunch of slapdicks online. So they can justify that by going, these guys are idiots. Because it is idiots. Bunch of people are just yapping. The difference between them and us is we're giving you concrete information. information that's based off of what we've been watching over and over and over again. This isn't just stuff that's trying to make ourselves feel better. This does not make us feel better talking smack about our own team. But just like if you were raising children or had somebody in the house like a sibling, and they come home after they just, I don't know, took a bat to a mailbox with their friends, right? They just destroyed public property. Technically, it's public property. It's a federal offense to mess up federal items. And then, of course, it is private property as well. What do you do to that sibling or that child? You punish them. And of course, you start to sit there and go, what were you thinking? Where was your rationale there? Where was your common sense? Well, it wasn't just a couple of adults making a bad decision. Oh, well, they're 14. They were having a little fun. Now imagine that. I want you guys to I want you to pay attention when I say this. There used to be an age stop somewhere there where once you got to like 21, 22, you couldn't use that excuse. Now I want you to imagine this. 20 years after that, there are still 40-year-olds living with their parents. And they're like, well, the economy is down. Well, it's Biden's fault. Well, there's a war. Well, Gerald's the host of Lakers Fast Break. Every excuse on the planet now has come on board. When does it stop? It won't. And all the discussions of, well, I grew up where I had to knock rocks together to get fire. And I'm like, you needed to knock rocks to get fire in 2014? What kind of Bohemian island were you on that we didn't know about?
Yeah, you're not Bear Grylls.
The amount of BS this all just is exactly that. And no matter how much you point to facts and actual analyzation based off of visual things, those who feel like they don't want to have that responsibility, they don't want someone that they like to be looked on bad or themselves, they're going to go, well, you're just outdated and you're being too harsh. And I'm being too harsh that a 6'7", 215-pound man won't play a professional game where he's getting paid millions of dollars to play because he got a little owie on his mouth. And you're going to call me out on that for getting an owie? We watched guys like Kobe play with grapefruits in his knee. We watched Michael Jordan never miss a game the last 3 years during his bull run. You're going to sit there and tell me I'm the problem? We're the problem? That Trevor Lane and Mike Trudell and all those suck-up, kiss-ass, freaking slave punks aren't the problem? Because there's no accountability anywhere. There's no accountability to anything. We reward trash more and more as we go on. And this is the result. Look at I'll get off the Laker thing for a second, just so you know I'm not, just killing my own here. But I want to go into let's go into the Adam Silver convincing Draymond Green not to retire. The guy's been useless for 2 years. He finally gets a good idea and you talk him out of it. This is the leader of the NBA. What the hell's he doing? This is your leadership. They don't deserve to be watched. And Laker fans, real Laker fans, are not showing up to games anymore. Look at the crowd. Even the corporate ones back in the day were legit Laker fans. Normally, corporate games, You know, you had a justification. Oh, they don't care about the real fans anymore. I go, but the Lakers were the exception. Lakers had corporate fans that were diehards. We got lucky there,
Yeah, you're right,
except
Joe.
their skank mistresses. But that's another story. So
Yeah,
the 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 energy is just not there. It's not there. It's just not there. And it's good that at least that's going on, because that gives me a little hope that we're not the only ones that are not watching it, what's going on. But I guess the seats are still being filled, so Jeannie doesn't care. But it at the end of the day, we're going to be here because we do have some value to people who are watching. And we're going to have to use the Laker product, if you can call it that, to continue to do that. And I guess that's the silver lining in all this.
well, and it also goes to show, Jill, that if you notice, I've been noticing something here. Do you do you remember how Mark Gasol was treated as a Laker?
Oh, he was, yeah, it was just a bad fit. And it just, yeah, they just, whatever we thought he was going to give, at his declining years, it just wasn't to be.
And
He was no longer mobile
yeah,
enough to do what he needed to
hmm
do on defensive end,
yeah,
and they really had no idea what to do
hmm
with him
hmm
offensively,
hmm
even though he still had the gifts as far as being able to pass the ball, whatnot. You could just see that they had no clue how to integrate him into the offense.
Do you remember how Wes Matthews Jr. was treated, Gerald?
He was not treated very well either. Yeah, and look
Threatened,
how he went on to
threatened,
play at high
threatened. His
level for
family was
Milwaukee.
threatened. Yes,
Yeah,
and
Danny Green.
Danny Green, Danny Green's was threatened too, and his family took a lot of. And this year, who was getting a lot of that same sick, twisted behavior drilled? Darvin Ham. And he is a terrible, no good, very bad coach on the court, no doubt about it. Yet he was basically treated like Wes Matthews, like Danny Green, like Marcus Saul. I mean, you know, the Laker fans need to start taking some accountability about the team for themselves. I mean, you don't really support your own players, some of you. You're sick, twisted people, don't really understand what you're watching, and you just want to take your anger and direct it at an inappropriate person. And that is also a big reason, Gerald, why some, I'll say some, of the noise is often ignored because we 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 tarnish our reputation as Laker fans ourselves because we have morons as fans. And there are morons in every fan base, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But it just it it shows that almost every year for the past, I'd say, since 2019, there is always a whipping post for Laker fans inappropriately directing anger at. And it's a problem because that is poorly reflected when these people, and I'm talking these people, I'm talking about Jeannie Buss, Rob Palinka now, and Darvin Ham, when these people talk amongst themselves and they ridicule us, they diminish our opinions, they um, deflect what we have to say. I mean, i- from if I didn't know any better, Gerald, I would say Jeannie Buss resents Laker fans. I would say she resents a lot of us.
I'm sure there's a love-hate relationship with Lakers fans. She loves the money that we give them, but hates the fact that we share opinions and we have opinions of our own. Like this one from Intel Wild in the super chat. Truly appreciate you super chatting with us. You can do so. It really helps us out, and we obviously prioritize it on the super chat when you do. Joe Intel Wild says Kobe had more heart than this entire team. Zero Mamba mentality here. And Joe, I can't agree anymore with that. That's just an absolutely perfect statement from Intel Wild right there.
Kobe's loved because his work ethic resonated to the grandmother who didn't watch the Laker games but knew about the Laker games. The women who took care of other people's kids and then came home and took care of her kids. That's who Kobe identified with, and vice versa. That goes a long way. It matters. You don't become a guy who couldn't walk the. It's mind-boggling to imagine that a city of Hollywood movie stars for 100+ years, some of the greatest entertainers, some of the greatest icons of a city, are pale in comparison to one guy named Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant could not go and walk the streets of LA. He wouldn't last. That's how big he was. To the point where Rajah Bell clotheslines him, and he's getting threats from lament guys that he's going to get clipped. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But who makes something like that up, right? I don't know. But at the end of the day, we saw the last era, folks. Let's just be happy with it. Just like me being a Steeler fan and seeing the last great Steeler dynasty, which wasn't really a dynasty, but that 2004, I should say 2003, 2011 team that went to 3 Super Bowls was the last of the true football, the true football where you saw football. The Raven Steeler legacy. That was a big thing. That's the biggest rivalry of my football life. And now we have everything continually to get soft and soft and soft and soft and soft to the point where a comedian can't get up on stage anymore at an award show and just make a couple of jokes without somebody pissing and vinegaring everywhere. Where does it end? We have to go on Netflix, listen to Chappelle talk. Then some asshole comes out of nowhere with some kind of weapon on stage. It's exhausting at some point.
54-30, Drew.
It's exhausting to listen and to watch mediocrity be rewarded with chicken shit people around it.
54-45.
Got it.
Y'all make me sick. I want to know. I want you all to know. You soft ass snatches make me sick. You make me sick. You'll always make me sick. You've made me sick. I wasn't this bad 10 years ago because it wasn't this bad 10 years ago.
Cool, bro. I certainly hope you don't use this language.
It wasn't this bad 10 years before then.
Please don't.
It's starting to get now. It is getting like now. You guys make me sick. You can't tell a joke anymore without you whining. You can't stop crying when you don't get what you want. Grow the F up. You will never get what I have. I got what I had because I pulled it out of somebody's chest. That's why. And I earned it. You guys all need to start earning it. Especially those who aren't born with 40 verticals and who can make a jump shot. Which most of us can't. Is that real life for you? Is that what you guys want to hear?
With the prices of houses these days, I have a couple of friends who happen to be where Joe was talking, and it's not for lack of trying. So not every Gen Zer is living at home voluntarily.
Mm-hmm.
But he's right about those who tell him how to live. He's right about that. He's absolutely right about that. And so is anybody else. And quite frankly, you know, aside from the complaining and bitching, Joe, do you have any solutions to these problems? Because that's
Purge.
uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Purge. What do you do to cancer when someone gets it early?
Um, hmm.
You pull it the F out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well this isn't Hollywood where, where
I'm talking about
you,
real
you,
life.
so am I.
Hmm.
Yeah, so am
You can't
I.
get rid of cancer unless you get it all. It's just real. That's real. We have too much trash, too many, just too
All right. Well,
many
then you know
black
what happen
holes.
you know what happens to a city that has too much trash, Joe?
Enlighten me.
They either move it they either move it they either move it down the road, or they take the garbage
That
out
only
into the
depends if
ocean.
there's a. That only
They
depends if
take
there's
the
a
garbage
Chinese
out into
communist
the
president
ocean.
coming.
They take the garbage out into
If
the
you're San
ocean.
Francisco, you leave it there. But as soon as a foreign entity comes into town, they clean it up in 3 days.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. I have no idea what you're talking
Gerald
about.
knows what I'm talking about.
I know what
Do
you're
you,
talking about.
Gerald?
Yes,
All right.
you know exactly what he's talking about. But let's not get into that.
I have
Once
no idea what he's talking about.
once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do lose 127 to 109. So with that said, Magic Man, I bring it back to you. In 2 days, the Lakers, I was assuming by the time that they would go to Utah, when the calendar turned to 2024, Sean, the Lakers had several home games on their schedule
Mm-hmm.
upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And the one road game was against a Utah team that at the time was just starting out their winning streak and was, still thought of as a floundering team at that point in time.
Gerald, we're gonna get smoked.
There you go. That
We're gonna
leads
get
me into
smoked. It's going to be a bloodbath in
you
Salt Lake.
because
That's
things have changed in the past 2 weeks, have they?
they have. They're like, to be frank, ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the second unit of the Utah Jazz outscores the Lakers starting five, because Will Hardy essentially has two starting units, and either if he replaced his bench unit with his starters, wouldn't be a big difference. They're both playing exceptionally well, Gerald. And again, this is an example of, an oxymoron, like literally. So Will Hardy doesn't have the resources that Darvin Ham does. He doesn't have the kind of reach that Darvin Ham does. Yet Will Hardy is a better coach, better tactician, better communicator, and gets more out of his bench than Darvin Ham could ever get out of his. And quite frankly, you know, Darvin Ham spent all those dinners with Taylor Jenkins, right, Gerald? All those nights spending time together. When did he really learn anything? No, no. I mean, it's great that you bonded and you're friends and you have dinner together and tuna casserole and potato salad. That's wonderful. You didn't learn dick from him. You didn't learn dick from him, Darvin. And Will Hardy is going to expose you again. And that's all I got to say, Gerald. It's not going to be much of a game. I can tell you that.
Well, that's a shame because again, we still hear what's going on with the left knee soreness or the facial contusions or the migraines or the calf strain.
Because Gerald, did you notice a big difference about what happened tonight as opposed to um the previous, say, 5 games? He is he reverts to drop coverage almost all the time. It's like you can literally watch a Lakers game and I can, and I'll do this on Saturday or the next game if somebody wants me to. I will definitely do this. You can pinpoint exactly when he's not going to run drop coverage because it's very rare. It's exceedingly rare. I mean, not only can he not adjust defensively because he wants to put a square peg in a round hole, and I'll say it again. And is Zangerstein in the comments section, Gerald?
I haven't seen her.
I
No, so
haven't
I don't
seen her
know.
either, but I've noticed, every time I talk about this, there's always a retort. The fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter how good your individual defense is. It doesn't matter anymore in the NBA, okay, ladies and gentlemen? It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Okay? Most of the defensive player of the year awards and most of the pub and most of the press is big men and drop coverage like Triple J, Marcus Gasol, Brook Lopez, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or AD. And the fact of the matter is that the Milwaukee Bucks were able to win a championship on the perimeter. They didn't win a championship because they were able to play great drop coverage, Gerald. They won a championship because Giannis, Drew Holiday, along with a couple of other guys, were able to limit the Phoenix Suns on the perimeter. Okay. Now, to mention the fact that when the Lakers won their title, uh, Frank Vogel incorporated very unique defensive schemes. Very unique. If, for example, that first game with the Portland Trailblazers, they were basically hitting every single 3-point shot, Gerald. So Vogel made adjustments, right? So he would blitz ball handlers, and then he would ask Caruso and or LeBron to play a little bit of off man, so there would be less space to operate. Darvin Ham does not come up with these adjustments because he's incapable. He's not smart. He doesn't think the game through. It's obvious. Sticking his hands in his pockets, or it. He's over his head. He's over his head, and it gets worse the better coaching he is against. I mean, Phoenix doesn't have really good perimeter defenders, but yet they still smacked the Lakers around tonight.
Well, the one thing I want to add in here is Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves did look dejected. He was the only one of the Lakers who, at the very end of the game, looked like he actually cared because that the Lakers lost by so much, Joe. But I don't want to hear any more of this talk of him being untouchable. I don't want to hear any more talk of him being a guy that you certainly cannot trade. We need to just stop that right now. Absolutely just stop. I don't care how nice his contract is. I don't care what you think of him personally. I don't care if the fact that you think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He is a terrible, and I'm going to repeat this, Joe, terrible defender. And when it comes right down to it, Magic Man and Joe, he is someone that, however decent things he does from time to time on the offensive end, it doesn't make up for the fact that you saw him tonight. If we match up against the Phoenix Suns, guess what? He's getting matched up against Beal, who torched him, lit him up tonight. That dumpster fire that was created tonight, part of that was created by Austin Reeves' defense. Looked like a statue as Beal was just popping off out of him, Joe. Just it is just terrible that we still there's still people out there that think that he is an untouchable player. And they've got to realize that Austin Reeves, however many good things that he does, he still has these deficiencies in his game that will go ahead and cost us games in that fashion. So I just think that maybe you should think about as your what is that sound? Is that your chair again? The magical chair?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, he's not an untouchable. That's all I want to get to at this point.
I don't know what kind of publication you read where they said that he's untouchable, but
ESPN, the guys on
I
ESPN, the
don't
low
get.
post.
Oh God, yeah, the fact that you're listening to anything those clowns are saying is that's on you. Let's just put it this way. I'm going to use an analogy. The Iliad had really good stories.
Well, Brian Windhorst does blow a lot of farts in the wind, so.
Okay.
Can I continue?
No.
Yes, you can.
For those of you who watched the movie Troy, there's a scene where the prince Paris,
Troy? Oh my God, you're using Troy? Oh my God.
yes, you gonna let me finish?
Oh my God. No. I'm like Kawhi Leonard listening to Nick Nurse talk about the G League.
What happens to Paris when he fights Menelaus? Well, I'm gonna use Austin Reeves as Paris, and Menelaus is Durant tonight. That's what Darvinham does. He already puts a guy who's incapable of doing something, and he makes him try to keep doing it when you know he can't. He's not going to win that fight. And I'm not trying to get Austin off the hook here, but we all know who he is. So why don't you adjust his game a little bit so that he isn't put in compromising positions? But the leadership and the coaching on this team is just not gonna work. And that's putting it lightly, beyond lightly. When are we going to see some coherent decision making in that? And that is what took us out of the game early. He put Austin Reeves on Durant. Durant was shooting over him the whole time. And he had him guarding Bradley Beal a couple times too, right? Bradley Beal decided to play basketball today, by the way. I don't be surprised if he's out for 2 weeks after today, because that's the kind of operation he runs. And I feel like the redundancy of this discussion is just what it is. I am talking about how he doesn't know how to play defense is a waste of our time. There needs to be more discussion on why Darvin Ham continues to throw, and I'll use a football analogy here for Sean so that he feels better. How about stop putting your receiver in a position to get decapitated by the safety? And that's what Darvin Ham does to his players. So the little Salem witch little thing going on where they're all talking to the Athletic. Who the hell are the Athletic? What is the Athletic? What do they do? They're still doing secret stuff. Is that what they do?
Well, Check It Out says we love Cam. I don't think he could be further from the truth on that. You remember for months on this show, I was saying we do not need
We're
Cam on this
talking
team.
about the same stupid crap every game.
But we get called out that said we love Cam.
I don't give
Cam,
a crap about getting called out. It has nothing to do with us. It's
They're
what's going
saying
on.
we love Cam. They're
Why
saying we love
is
Cam.
Darvin Ham putting Austin on Durant? Answer me that question. No one is talking about it.
Because he's stupid.
No one is talking about it. Not after the Laker game with Sportsnet. Not on ESPN. Not Stephen A. Smith. None of those guys. Where's the information that matters? Why are you putting Austin Reeves on Durant if he sucks on defense? Explain this to me.
All right, I can sum it up this way. We were talking about this on playback. The fact of the matter is that a company like Disney, and they own ESPN, does not want controversy, Joe. They want their vanilla paste Mike Greenberg and Mike Breen, and I don't know who else is on that network, Gerald. I don't get ESPN regularly, but the fact
You're
of the
lucky.
matter is, it's just a Rolodex. Go to SportsCenter, then go to pardon the interruption, and then go to the game. And as soon as the game's over, we'll go back to SportsCenter.
Okay,
They
now
want
here it is. Now check it out. Well, I just want to check it out. Not a mod. He's just a guest. By the way, it is John Costa of the Lakers Corner. He said something nice about Ham, so that instantly means that we all love Cam. So because we say something nice about one player, one game, that means we instantly all love that individual. Check it
Pro-
out. You need to check it out.
Check it out. Yeah. Don't be paralyzed in the moment, man. Like nobody on this panel has
Wow,
ever has
that was a brain fart by check it out, man.
it really is, man, because nobody on this panel
Who?
was ever advocating that that Cam Reddish should be a cemented starter. Nobody. Nobody. You can't. Gerald has said it over and over again. Your starting shooting guard cannot have
Doesn't score more than 5 points a
5 points a
game.
game. We talk about this. Like
It was great
this
when he was leading the NBA in
and
steals
and
for the
this
month of November, but that was November.
and this is the issue I've been talking about with people like Check It Out. And dude, if you're a subscriber and you watch us, appreciate it. But the fact is, if you say that with a straight face, you're casual. And
Because
you're
one guy made a compliment for one player, that automatically means he loves. We all love that player.
no, because we all have
Woo!
individual opinions. I mean, there's a disclaimer that Gerald puts on the show.
Well, not, I'll have to add it to this show, but yeah, Joe. I mean, my God, because you said something
The
nice
opinions
about someone sometime,
yeah,
that means you automatically, all of us love that individual. Automatically love that player because you said something nice. Because you
check it
said
out.
something nice about Adam, or whoever, it doesn't matter. You said something nice about someone, whether it's Adam Silver or some. At some point in time, Joe and Sean, that means we automatically love them regardless.
Yeah, no doubt, Gerald. And
Woo!
no, we don't. We've been when it's called upon, and people have receipts, and we need to check ourselves. We check ourselves, but check it out. Check on out because that opinion is completely erroneous. Nobody has ever advocated that Cam should be a cemented starter for the Lakers, averaging 5 points a game.
I love it. John's not even here and he gets hit, man. I got to tell him that when he comes back here on that. Remind me, Magic Man, to have him check it out.
I will. I
Get
will.
it? Check it out. Check it out. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do lose 127 to 109. Guys, we're going to head on out here in a few minutes. I do have Sam Yip, who writes for All Lakers and also Who's Hype. He is going to be heading on over here tomorrow for a good interview. Hopefully, we'll talk about the Lakers, and hopefully he will not beat around the bush when it comes to Los Angeles Lakers. But before we head on out, it is NFL Wild Card Weekend. I thought I would give you guys a chance to go ahead and share your thoughts. Joe, I'm going to start with you first, and I'll get you, Magic Man. Your thoughts on the Wild Card Weekend? I know you're Steelers, man. Are they going to go ahead and pull off the big upset this weekend?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so either. So, just saying. Magic Man, so what's some of the action for you coming up this weekend for the NFL playoffs?
Yeah, Gerald. It should be an interesting weekend. I I think there's going to be a couple games I think that disappoint. I don't think anyone's going to be happy with the doomsday game that Miami's in for.
Miami at Kansas City, by the way.
Yeah, minus 15 at this point. Could get lower, could go to minus 18 or minus 20. Miami Dolphins have never played a very good playoff game in the snow, Gerald, even when they had Dan Marino. So historically, they're a dud when it comes to games in the snow and the blizzard. So I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to just steamroll them.
I do want to
I,
say, can I ask you a question? No, I asked this of Chris. Why is Tampa Bay hosting the game because they won their division to a Philadelphia team that's 2 games better than they are? Can we get rid of these archaic rules that I thought that it's supposed to be based off how well you did this season, but these archaic rules where a division winner magically gets a home game? I think that's a bunch of BS, guys. Don't you?
That's tough. That's tough, Gerald.
Philadelphia's 2 games better than them.
I know, but it's just there's there's a carrot at the end of that winning your division, though. Regardless, I get it.
Should
I
be just getting
understand what
into
you're
the
saying.
playoffs. That should be the
Well, yeah,
carrot.
and Gerald, usually it's one of those two divisions, isn't it? It's either the AFC South that has like a 7-9 winner, or the NFC South that has like a eight
Well,
or
I remember when Chris said in the ISFF, to give you guys a preview if you check out Inside Sports Fantasy Football, he commented on when the Seahawks won their division at 7-9 and and got a home game. Now they won their home game.
yeah. Didn't they beat New Orleans?
Yes, they
Yeah, I
beat
thought
for
so.
good
Yeah.
memory. Yeah. So they end up winning, but I don't know if that's really fair. But Joe, any other games that stand out to you guys, both you and Sean, before we head on out this weekend? The Rams for Cool Bro at Detroit.
No.
Yeah, the Rams will win that game. Biting kneecaps has kind of turned that team around, Gerald. But they won one game in December, and that was it. They were the Detroit Lions for the rest of the month, especially in that Dallas game. I think they're still a year or so away, Gerald. And by the way, I think it would have behooved Dan Campbell and that organization to rest some of their players, Gerald. And they got hurt in that last game, and I think the Rams will be able to take advantage of that. Other than that, Gerald, don't be surprised if Tampa Bay wins that game. Don't be shocked. Um, Philadelphia's defense has been leaking oil. And again, just goes to show you, Gerald, a team that has bad assistants, playing pretty poorly, and just goes to show that assistant coaching and preparation matter more than anything else in the avenue of sports. I will say this, um, you know, the Steelers and the Bills is an interesting matchup because, I mean, if it's 17-13 or something like that in the fourth quarter, oh man, I'd be really nervous if I was a Buffalo Bills fan. I would be extremely nervous considering you've just won 6 in a row. If you lose to the Steelers, yeesh. Yee. I'm doing the Bugs Bunny here.
But
Yee.
Joe will like it, that's for sure. If the Steelers win, he'll be a happy camper. Something that he isn't tonight with the Lakers getting their ass kicked, 127 to
Mhm.
109.
No, I will say this, Gerald. I'm calling an upset. I think the Houston Texans beat the Cleveland Browns.
I called that. Yeah, that was my woof 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 doghouse pick of the week. So there you go. So yeah, my
I
underdog
agree
of the
with
week.
you, sir.
I'll take the 2 points on that one. Joe, I know you said no action as far as any talking on any of the games, the football, but how about the Lakers? Any last thoughts on the Lakers? Because I'm sure our audience is saying, just got to let you talk, my friend.
Lakers suck donkey dick.
Apple's
Yeah.
going to have a field day when I throw this up there.
Oh my God! Yeah, what the hell?
What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
I could
Can you
mute
can
you.
you
I could kick you off. I can do a
yes
lot of things.
speak
No,
without swearing, you Temecula heathen?
that's okay. You're already on this channel and on Facebook and our Twitch and Twitter. They've already
There are
heard him
plenty
curse
of
for
men
2 hours.
named Dick around there, so it's not really a cuss word.
Yes, but the implied connotation still gets a lot of people nervous. But then again, you heard Joe uncut.
There's a ring to Dick Glassford, though, doesn't it?
Oh my
There's a ring
gosh!
to Dick Soro as well.
No,
What's
it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it
Yes,
doesn't.
it does. Yes, it does. Yes,
That
it
doesn't
does.
flow at all.
Yeah, it flows very
Dick
nicely after running it.
Glassford is smooth.
Dick Soro. What's up, Dick Soro? Dick Soro. Hey, say it as one word. Dick Soro. Hey, there you go.
It's terrible.
Well, Soro's a dick. There you go. Dick Soro. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Serge says, Joe is my brother. LOL. LOL indeed. Thank you. All high.
Oh, I guess that means it's the shit for brain twins.
Oh, Cool Bro says Magic Man is my brother. We're all picking family members here on the Lakers Fast Break. Anything to detract from the Lakers' pitiful performance tonight, 127 to 109. They're now 2-3 on the homestand. I never thought I would actually be saying that. I thought that, you know what, they're going to turn things around, get some home cooking. 2 weeks. By the time they hit Utah, everything will be fine. But yeah, as we see now, that is definitely not the case. How is Ham's job status? What is he's going to go and say now? We don't know. I mean, the questions after, as far as the press conference, has been all about how Austin Reeves got roasted by Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, and I guess Jovan Buha hasn't
But
given.
see,
Oh,
yeah, that's true. That's true. But
oh,
but
go ahead, my friend.
Gerald, yeah, no, I'm sorry for interrupting, my friend.
No, all good.
Sorry, Podfather. I was just gonna say.
Dick Soro.
It's not
Thank
that
you.
funny.
I almost lost my train of thought there.
Thank you, cool
It's
bro.
not that funny, actually.
I
Yeah,
thought it was funny.
it's very
It's
amusing.
It
hilarious.
wasn't though.
Hilarious.
It's
Go ahead, Seth.
it's very amusing actually. Um,
Search and Destroy liked it.
hmm
He
Gerald,
said that before he said it.
No, he didn't.
Gerald, like it's almost as if when you like, okay, I'll kind of use an example here. So it's for Austin Reeves in this issue. We know he's being picked on. We know he's going to get cooked, and we know defensively we are going to leak oil at times because on consecutive possessions he's going to be continued to be worked on. Now, if you're fishing, Gerald, and you have a great spot, right? You picked a great spot. If your lines aren't really catching anything after like a week, you pick a new spot. You you pick a new spot, man. Like it's the same with coaching and adjusting. You have to be able to put Austin Reeves in situations where he can succeed. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. And if Austin ends up being being in the car wash and being constantly sick cycled through, yeah, that some of that's on him, but a lot of that is on the coaching staff and his teammates.
It is.
Because Gerald, he's the one that takes the licks on in the comments section and on the platforms, and he's the one who takes the licks from the commentators. And yet there he was. He was the only Laker tonight who had a mean mug on his face because he was pissed off about what happened. And at least Austin Reeves, you could say whatever you want about his defense, about some of his other qualities. One quality that guy has, Gerald, is and reminds me a lot of somebody who have just lost, is true grit. True grit. At least he's willing to take the shots in order to try and better himself, and he's willing to be emotional about it and not hey, it's all right, everybody, it's all right, it's a Thursday night in Los Angeles, we're just gonna have a good time. No, at least that dude's got the right attitude. May not reflect on the court sometimes, but he's got the best attitude of any of those dudes in that locker room.
So I ask you this, Joe, before we head on out. I've been flipping through the various accounts for post-game quotes from the Lakers, because usually we get a bevy of them from Dave McMenamin, Mike Trudell, Jovan Buha, the whole crew. All I've been able to find was the Kevin Durant until Jovan Buha just now put something up in regards to Anthony Davis when he questioned him. Now, get this, Joe, something that we've been pointing out all season long. His question was, your three-point defense has struggled for a while. You think? How do you address that without compromising other parts of your defense? his reaction and Anthony Davis's comment on this was he said, quote, realizing that everybody, no matter what their numbers are, shoots well against us. The Joe Soro theory. If a guy is shooting 10%, he's going to shoot 40 against us. Just knowing that there hasn't been a time where the numbers have told the truth to us when we've played guys. I mean, even Brad's been struggling. So we got to play everybody like they're Steph when they play us because these guys, not just his team, everybody has shot the ball well against us, which is something you've been pointing out as far as them shooting well. And for me, I've been pointing out as far as this perimeter defense been horrid all season long, Joe. What does that tell you when AD vents with those kind of frustrations?
Well, it only adds to why I like AD, because he sees what we see. The Clipper game, they actually played good perimeter defense, and that they haven't done it since. Even the Toronto game was a struggle to get them to play good perimeter defense, good 3-point defense, but they were able to combat that because they got to the line due to some, questionable calls or being more aggressive, whichever one you want to call it. It's not one thing that's causing this. It's an array of bad habits that have never been broken and not creating good ones. It's just not a mentally smart team. It's not a mentally these guys are trying to stay in the league, some of them. So their focus isn't about winning, really. They want another contract. Somebody like Cam Reddish, Christian Wood is trying to get another, his big contract. When you have players that are trying to get what they want without the winning part, it's kind of difficult to do that. And they don't really have any incentive to go that route anyways, because their leaders are not really good at doing that right now. That includes LeBron and AD, despite the fact that AD's been playing very, very well. For this to bother us and it not bother them, I guess there might be some truth there, because there's still a huge incentive for them in the end. They still get paid their millions of dollars. Most of the people that are watching the game are trying to pay their rent. They're trying to look for that release, that excitement, and that's gone to crap. Now that's where the dislike grows as well. For some of us, we're not in that position, obviously, but it's more of the time wasting. My issue is the time I'm wasting watching these clowns try to form some kind of a basketball team, especially with some of the most talented players that's ever played at the forefront. That's the frustrating part. No practice, still can't be still not showing up to games. No criticism within their circles, still not showing up. So you're sitting there going, okay, what's going to get these guys motivated to win? There isn't. There's no incentive for them. There's no pressure. All it is internet trolls who have been trolling about anything from video games to why shredders in their house isn't working, whatever it is. And people just look at them and go, they're just, a bunch of overgrown children yapping at me. I don't care. But those who actually say the truth either get ostracized, or there's somebody like us who aren't there yet.
But Joe, Austin Reeves' defense, it's fine. It's good. It's been great. That's what we've been told. Every time we called it out, we've been calling it out, Joe and Sean, since FIBA.
Derek Fisher's defense was terrible the last 5 years of his Laker career. 5, not 1, not 2, 5. That son of a gun, as much as I love him, got Troy Hudson of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Mike Bibby gigantic contracts because of his defense. So this isn't the first time we've seen an integral part of a Laker team, have horrid defense. But
One thing that Derek Fisher wasn't afraid to do was go over screens rather than under. At least he had the balls to do that.
But what he did do to make up for it is leadership, something we don't have, and the ability to hit the important shot. So you dealt with it, and Phil Jackson tried to hide it as much as he could. The problem was it's very hard to hide that when it mattered. Here, he's getting sauteed in regular season games. If you think it's bad now, wait till playoff time. Should the Lakers make playoffs, it's going to be 10 times worse. So this is it's bad in so many different directions that you can't really point to one being more than the other. However, when you are supposed to be the leader of this whole thing, you naturally are going to kind of navigate towards that. But we've known Darvin Ham was not a good coach really from the first few weeks of him coaching. I knew there was something wrong the moment I heard him open up his mouth, and that's the facts on that. And it'll never get better. This team will win a few games and get us back into the happy place a couple times, but the reality is they are not going to win a championship this year. So enjoy the season as much as you can, but we're just not going to be that team, and we're going to have to really cross our fingers again that somebody stops the Celtics. That's what this year is going to be about.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 127-109. They're 19-20 on the season, 10th place in the Western Conference. The team that they're tied with, Utah, guess what? They're going to go visit them on Saturday, and we'll be here to go ahead and cover it all. Plus, tomorrow we do have, again, like I said, writer Sam Yip, who works for All Lakers, who works for Hoops Hype, and he's written for a lot of other great publications. He's going to stop on by to talk to Lakers. MagicMan, any last thoughts before we head on out?
I was hoping that, Gerald, we wouldn't have to be in the same place at the same time talking about the same sad, lackluster, lack of testicular fortitude, because you have a deficit of that right now, about the Lakers. And it seems like this is a merry-go-round broke down, Gerald.
Yep, it is. Kind of like a Dick Soro, but need I digress on that. Once again, it is
or a dick in your mouth.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
enough.
That's enough, man. Come on.
Hey,
Don't start a fire and then get mad that the house burned.
I'm not mad at all.
Yeah,
Everything's fine with me.
See in your face, you're turning red.
See the smile. My face has been this way for the entire show.
Sure
Check it out.
has.
Play the replay, dumbass.
No.
But once again, it is the Lakers fast
I
break.
burned you. You're fucking burning right now.
I'm looking burning.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I brought it.
That's what it takes you to drop the F-bomb. There you go.
I'm sorry it came out. That one was
He
a
got
mistake.
you.
I got you. I got you, Dick Soro. I got you.
He got you.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. I got him.
Yeah,
I got him.
You got him, Gerald. You got him.
Get shit.
Oh, he's at it again. Oh, man.
He's still at it again.
He's still at it again, indeed. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is Joe Soro.
I got the cloth and the muff talking smack. That's hilarious.
Whatever.
You're the muff, Gerald.
You're the Dick Soro. But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is Dick Soro, Joe Soro. Please check him out today as Ox1947. I can't hear you beyond all the hacking. What's going on? But once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Please join us tomorrow where we talk Sam Yip. Also as well, MagicMan Chuck Rice. Truly appreciate him heading up the entire playback.tv/Lakers fast break. It was a great time. Henry, wish him well. He's our guy behind the Courtside Lakers. Go ahead and check him out there on Courtside Lakers. Give him a shout out, but truly appreciate him. Laker Nick stopped by in the first half. I love how he's like, BRB, be right back. He never came back with this mess. He had the right idea all along. Zangerside says, also, Cool Bro really touched. That's okay. Cool Bro is just nice to have around. It's a 14-year-old kid, Zangerstein. It's always glad to hear. But glad you're here, Zangerstein. We were talking about you earlier, so we were wondering if you had actually would show up with your thoughts. But I know you're
So
probably. Yeah.
anybody
I expect
anybody
some
mess
Z notes in the not too distant future.
anybody messes with Cool Bro, you're gonna find out where my Taekwondo training came from because I'm gonna turn into a Keem from the Game of Death.
My bodyguard from the way back, going to win the way back moving machine right there.
Mhm.
Nick turned into that one guy in summer school with Mark Harmon, where he went to the bathroom at the beginning of the movie, and then he shows up at the end of the movie to take the test. Did you guys ever watch that movie?
I have.
Sean, you ever seen Summer School?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that for those of you who haven't watched it, great 80s flick.
Tell you what, though, it's great to have you here, trying to cheer you up, trying to provide the therapy you need as Lakers fans after tonight's dismal performance. 127-109. Z says she'll write a Z notes after the Jazz game. Oh my gosh, that'll be
That should be pretty
that should
lengthy.
be, oh my god.
It's gonna be lengthy.
Oh my gosh, it'll be like,
It'll be the Jazz notes at the end of the game.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure, indeed. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Sorrell, MagicMan, Sean Grice, and me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for watching this thing. We'll be back tomorrow to talk to Sam Yip. Will he have much to say about the Lakers? Will he have much to say about Darvin Ham? We'll find out what he has to say tomorrow, right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.